General, thanks for being with us here on The Hill. Let's start with the big news real quick. Yeah, hello to you as well. Start with the big news in the past hour and a half or so. Jack Smith superseding indictment. Do you think Kamala Harris wants this right now, 70 days out?
I think Kamala Harris, as a prosecutor, is focused. It wants the criminal justice system to hold people accountable who commit crimes. I think as a candidate, she's trying to talk to as many voters as she can. At the end of the day, you really cannot run a criminal justice system that is sensitive to the political cycle. I don't think she's worrying about it one way or another. I think she's trying to talk to more voters and help more people understand why she's the best choice. But honestly, I think it's probably not high on her radar.
Not on her radar. Okay, let's move on then real quick. You're the Attorney General in Minnesota, as I mentioned. I know one of the things that's on your focus is social media companies and sort of the harmful effects that they have on children. You've been on the forefront of that in your state. There was a big story that dropped at around this time, late in the hour last night, as it relates to Meta and Mark Zuckerberg. Meta, of course, the biggest one of them all. Here's what Zuckerberg said in his letter to the House Judiciary Committee. He said, quote, in 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire. Mark Zuckerberg now says he regrets, essentially, how Meta acted. Did the White House get this wrong, Mr. Attorney General?
Well, the Meta got a lot of things wrong. Meta needs to look at how its
algorithms. What about the White House?
No, I heard what you said. I mean, obviously you're asking me that because of the political environment. But if you want to talk about who got things wrong, Meta got a lot of things wrong. It's good they apologize for it. There's more that they've done wrong. And, we're holding them accountable in the courtroom to try to get them to answer for all of the things that they've done that they should not have done, including manipulating their algorithms that have led kids to do and be involved in a lot of things that are extremely dangerous and unhealthy. So did the White House get it wrong? Meta got it wrong, and I'm glad at least he has the decency to apologize for some of the things that he got wrong.
So here was the White House today, quote, they were asked about this. Our position has been clear and consistent. We believe tech companies and other private actors should take into account the effects their actions have on the American people while making independent choices. I didn't see an apology there. Sometimes in Washington, that's one of the hardest things to do. Do you think that strikes the right tone from the White House?
You should apologize when you do things wrong. I mean, what I heard from your story and from other reporting and from the complaint we filed against Meta is that they've done some things that they should not have done. Maybe they did some things in the eyes of the Judiciary Committee that they shouldn't have done. Me and several other AGs on a bipartisan basis believe that they've done other things wrong with regarding how they manipulate their algorithms to entice, lure, and get young people to engage in unhealthy behaviors. They might want to apologize for that too. I hope that they do, and I think that would make things better if they did.
Keith Ellison, there's a lot to get into, a lot of breaking news, though, at this hour, so we got to leave it there. Thank you so much, the Attorney General from the state of Minnesota. Thank you, sir.
Have a great day.
You got it. We'll talk to you again. Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.